I feel kind of like
Okay, yeah. Can I move over to a little bit? Hi, friends, it's Brenda. There's a lot going on in our world right now that can make us feel hopeless. So let's take some time to find hope. Hello, friends. Today we're going to talk about thinking again, but thinking about this crisis maybe a little bit differently. Crisis, as you know, just like rocks us to the core of our being. Crisis makes us focus on the pain and the suffering. Focusing on pain and suffering is debilitating. When we're hurting, when we're suffering, that's all we can focus on. You've hurt yourself and then you try to rub it because then that's what you're focusing on. We try to fix or we try to do something about our suffering. And we have someone who can do something about our suffering. And that would come from relying on the promises of God. He promises He will never leave us or forsake us. So we have the opportunity to focus on that promise during our suffering. There's a book in the Bible that is called Job. Job is a story of a man who loved the Lord, who followed the Lord, and who is someone that the enemy thought, wonder what he would be like if he had to suffer a little bit. The story goes on, and Job's friends are rebuking him, and they're saying, well, this is how you should think and feel. This is what you ought to be doing. You should just give up. You should just forget all of this stuff. What we found after his friends rebuked him, Job pushed back, and he stood strong, and he said no. During this time of focusing, we can focus on our suffering. And when we focus on our suffering, we lose sight. We lose sight of the hope. Job was someone that did not lose sight. He did not lose sight in the middle of his suffering of a God that loved him. Now, he questioned him. He said, where are you? I'm feeling like I'm not going to make it. And he had friends that pressured him. This is what you should do. You should do this. You should do that. Do you ever have that happen? But redirect yourself. Go back in prayer, asking God, talk to Him. So now what, Lord? What do you want to have happen with this? We get to this place where we feel like time is running out and we got to do all these things, or hurry and get these things done, or maybe my time is short, so what do I want to do? Or we start sifting and going through these things. How do I get all these things accomplished? Well, by focusing on the doing, is that really going to produce what you want, or can we focus on the being? What I mean by being is, who are you? Being has to do with is focusing on identity. It forces us to go, what's the meaning of life? What am I doing? Is this matter? And when we can, on purpose, look to God's character, who is He really? See that He's loving. Rely on those promises. Practice believing what those things are as true. It changes our being, and our being is reflected in our doing. So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing intensely on the doing? Like, what does your doing look like right now? What do you think is the motivation behind your doing? Let's take a look at that. That motivation will drive us. That motivation, is it coming from being? Is it coming from our character? Is it coming from wanting to honor God with who we are? There's hope. Don't get all caught up and worried about this. There is hope. And remember that hope is the anchor for the soul.